Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Bigfoots Pad Live. On the line with me today, or on the video, I should say, I have my co-hosts. I'm Jeremy Metter, and I'll let my co-hosts introduce themselves.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Tim.
So today we are going to talk about a strange topic. We did multiple shows on UFOs. We did one on Desert Sasquatch. So this show, we're going to do something kind of like a mystery. This is called the Marfa Mystery Lights of Marfa, Texas. This is a strange phenomenon, which people don't really know what these lights are. But before we get into that, I believe Tim and Nick are going to do the news articles for this show. So like always, we're going to get into some news articles before we get started with the actual subject matter. Nick, do you want to get started with the news for today?
Yeah, I can do that. Let's see here. Wait, there's the
I am posting something on our Twitter also right now, letting people know about the show.
What the heck? Oh, present. There we go.
You sharing your screen, Nick?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. All right, so the first thing we're going to do with the paranormal news is here is some footage of some people in Ontario, which is in Canada, and they're going down a river, just enjoying a nice day out on the lake, and they look over here to the edge of the shore, and then they see something that'll pop up in a minute. It's a very, very curious piece of footage. Right there, you see something that looks like Harry and the Hendersons.
Very interesting.
Across the shoreline, and that's just like the raw, uncut footage. But then they
break it down
and slow down. There you go. There's a better view of the creature in reverse as it goes across the shoreline from one part of the trees to the next.
Very interesting.
It's in Canada, it says?
Yeah, Ontario, Canada. And there it is in reverse again. And if this is a genuine Sasquatch video, that's incredible.
Oh, yeah, that is. Very interesting.
That's pretty cool. That wasn't that long ago either, really, only 2 months ago.
Yeah, it was only a couple of months ago. I mean, with the proliferation of cameras being in everybody's pocket.
Thank God they were able to film it, though.
Yeah, why did Nick disappear all of a sudden?
I don't know. We lost him, I guess.
Yeah, he'll be back on in a second. So while we wait for Nick to reconnect, Tim, do you have any news articles?
Yeah, I do. I don't have it on my screen, but I'll just tell you what it is. So this one's pretty interesting. This is a couple months back. It says right here, the FBI confirms the report of a long cylindrical object moving fast through New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
It was also cited by American Airlines crew also.
Yeah.
It says August 21st, American Airlines confirmed the weird incident, which is a long cylindrical object it zipped over almost like a cruise missile, zipped across the Airbus 8320, according to a transmission. And it says that they tracked it all the way across New Mexico, and then they lost it when they flew like they're going towards Phoenix.
Yeah.
It was flying over 37,000 feet over northeastern New Mexico.
So it's a UFO, or is it a cruise missile, or?
They said it's a UFO, but they were the only way the crew described it is they thought it was like they thought it was a cruise missile, but it's not.
That's crazy. When was that?
It looks like it was August of last year. I tried to bring it up on my laptop, but it wouldn't, so you can't really see it.
And there you go. Now you can kind of see it.
Yeah, but it's very interesting.
And that's weird.
Yeah, because they said the people don't know what it was.
That's weird. Yeah, I know that they've been seeing a lot of strange things in the sky. It's kind of weird with these balloon stories. Where you never know what's going to happen.
Here's another one. It's not really a news article, but I thought this was interesting. Someone did like a new renderization of like Patty the Sasquatch.
Oh, that one's cool.
Yeah, it looks very realistic.
Yeah. So in the meantime, while we try to get Nick on, I'd like to mention. So we do have some personal news for our radio station or radio. We call it a radio show. There's Nick.
Yeah, my
So
video feed just cut out of nowhere. I was like, "What the?"
oh, it's okay. Yeah, so I was just telling the audience real quick before you share your news stories, Nick. We do have some interviews lined up with some authors and filmmakers.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
We're probably going to get those going in March. I should have some more information here within probably the next couple of days. I know we have a special treat. We have two of our guests coming up. They actually researched and studied two UFO crashes that are not Roswell or Kecksburg, and there's something you don't really hear about every day. So I'm pretty excited for them.
Yeah, very interesting.
We have various filmmakers that are going to be coming on here. One's a Canadian, one's a very well-known Sasquatch researcher. I'm not going to give the names away. We'll do that. We'll have the grand reveal of that probably next week. Next week, Tim's not going to be able to make it to the show because he's going on vacation. So me and Nick will have to carry the torch next week.
Yeah, we'll be able to do that for sure.
Yeah.
If I do, I might be able to stop by for a minute, maybe. If I do, it might be just for a few minutes. But
well, all right, Nick. You want to show some of your news stories or your news articles that you found? And
I actually found one more too. When you're done, Jerry, I found one more too.
If you want to, you or Nick, however you want to do it.
Nick can go first.
Here, so make sure that the video feed doesn't cut out again.
Oh, there it goes.
Right now, I found a cool article about a vampire graveyard that was found in Poland.
I seen that. That looked cool. I seen that on a different thing on Facebook. That is really cool, though.
Yeah, this lady apparently was suspected of being a vampire in Poland during the 17th century, and in order to prevent her from rising from the grave to come terrorize the living, they put a sickle across her neck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back then there was a craze starting here. It says in the 11th century, citizens of Eastern Europe reported fears of vampires and began treating their dead with anti-vampire rituals. They believed that people who died would claw their way out of the grave as blood-sucking monsters that terrorized the living. I mean, look at this. This is pretty gnarly over here.
That's a woman,
they said? It is.
That's a woman, yeah. They suspected her of being a vampire, so they put the scythe across her neck, and if she rose from the dead, hypothetically, her head would have been severed from her body. And
this was what, the Middle Ages sometime, or?
Yeah, this was during the Middle Ages, the 17th century. But, you know, this is the culture that gave rise to Bram Stoker's Dracula. And
I love that
vampire lore that we
just a little bit north of where it was at.
But I just found that. I thought that was cool, and then also the Bigfoot video. Tim, what do you have for us?
I found this one too. I was just talking to you guys. Let me share the screen here. 1 second. So this farmer supposedly was reviewing his trail camera, and he found something very interesting. Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
And Nick, you have to stop sharing your screen, Nick, so Tim can share his.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay,
there it goes. Okay, now Tim's is on. Yeah, we're all still trying to get used to how
how it all works.
Things.
And that's this is only. You're on. Okay, and then this is only 10 days ago too, so it's freezing here slowly. So look at this guy seen on his trail camera, supposedly.
Recently, an interesting photo has been featured on various websites that investigate mysterious creatures. As with many of these older images, not much information is known about it, but those who have looked into it have said it was captured by a trail camera
What do you guys
and was
think?
uploaded to a
That's pretty
computer where
crazy right
someone
there.
then took a screenshot.
That definitely looks to
The
be legitimate.
Bigfoot Research Organization
Oh,
suggests that the
Excuse me,
images in
guys.
question show an adult and juvenile Sasquatch, and said that although sightings like this are rare, there have been multiple instances where people have come forward and said they've encountered more than one of these creatures.
So you guys get the point. It goes on for 40
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
I don't think we have
Two
40
big-
minutes
a big
to
one and a
review
small
that.
one.
It'll have to be something we watch just together when we hang out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It was only 10 days ago, so I thought that was even cooler.
Wow. Is that small Bigfoot, Jeremy, in that picture? Is that about the size of the one you saw over in California?
It was roughly about the size of like I'd say about 5 or 6 foot tall. It wasn't gigantic. I thought it was whatever it was. It wasn't very. It wasn't gigantic like some people say when they see those kind of things. It
Yeah.
was kind of about the same size as us. I know we're this a little bit off topic, but you know what I was thinking earlier, Nick? Something you and me have never really told anyone.
What?
Do you remember when you and me went out at nighttime when the sun first started going down by ourselves and our flashlights went out and we were trying to hurry back to camp?
Oh yeah,
It
yeah,
sounded like something was following us like off into the woods.
yeah. I do remember that.
I was like, I
going down
forgot
the
about
hill.
that. I was like, we should have brought that up the other day. And then
Yeah.
randomly at one point we thought we heard a little girl's voice, which was
Yeah, there was like a ghost voice coming.
that
from
was
the
bizarre.
woods.
I was gonna say, yeah, we've never really told anyone about that.
Yeah, we'll have to do a whole thing and
Yeah.
a show about that. We'll have it as a topic.
I'd like to do a show on that on our Bigfoot location, just that location and what we've seen there.
Yeah.
Yeah, do like a proper
Yeah.
reveal.
Oh yeah. So, if you guys don't have any more news stories for this week,
Oh, nope, I'm good.
No, I'm done too.
it's not like Tim said, "Nope, I have a pumpkin," is what I thought he said.
Yep.
He has a
So, anyways, so we're gonna get started with tonight's topic. They are called the Marfa lights, and they are seen over in western Texas, almost on the western panhandle side of Texas. And we'll show that in just a minute. We'll show like a visual aid for that. So, with further ado, I will give a general description of the lights, and then we'll get into some discussions on different thoughts or different questions and things that I wrote down. So, it says the Marfa lights, also known as the Marfa ghost lights, have been observed near U.S. Route 67 on Mitchell Flat, east of Marfa, Texas, in the United States. They have gained some fame as onlookers have attributed them to paranormal phenomenon such as UFOs, ghosts, the will of the wisp, which we'll get into in a minute. Scientific research suggests that most, if not all, are atmospheric reflections or automobile headlights or campfires, say the skeptics. So I have it says the first historical record of the Marfa lights were in 1883 when a young cowhand named Robert Reed Ellison saw a flickering light while he was driving cattle through the Paisano Pass and wondered if it was a campfire of Apache Indians. Other settlers told him that they often saw the lights, but when they investigated, they found no ashes or no evidence of a campfire or a campsite. Joe and Ann Humphreys next reported seeing the lights in 1885. So these stories go back to the late 1800s. People are seeing these lights. They call them ghost lights. I was going to say the best way to go about doing this, I think, might be to show some videos of the actual lights.
Yeah, or some
You guys
screenshots of the lights too.
Yeah, I have a couple quick videos I have saved of the actual lights. If you guys don't mind if I share those.
Well, of
No,
course.
go ahead.
Well, no. Do you remember the light we saw when we were out at Silver Reef? That ghost
Oh,
light
yeah.
that was going
Oh,
up
yeah.
and down the side of a mountain. That was weird.
That
Oh yeah,
was
I got
very
that. I got
weird.
notes on that too. We'll get into
Okay.
that in a little bit. Alrighty, so I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to play. I have a couple videos on the actual Marfa lights. You can see what they actually are, and you'll hear the witnesses talk about them. then the three of us will get into discussions about it. So, all right. So I'm going to share my screen. And here we go. This video. One second. I got to get my audio working. Everything's good, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it.
So there's one video on it.
Yeah.
These are. Let me play. I'll play a couple of quick videos real quick. Some other ones. This is literally raw footage from 2013 of the lights. Someone's opening a beer. You can hear in there.
Not me.
No, I mean on the video.
Oh.
He sounded guilty.
Okay, not yet anyways.
Okay, so there's one of the lights appearing on the horizon in the background. I always thought it would be amazing for us to go out there and go see these ourselves. I always thought.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad because we have family in northern Texas.
I'm not going to play the whole 5-minute video, but I want to let it play.
That's
for a little while.
amazing.
Yeah, that's a crazy phenomenon going on right there.
Of course, the video, some people might complain is not HD, but you get the
We don't care. Be here at BFP, we don't care.
yeah, we don't really care. You get
Yeah,
the
we'll
point.
play.
But you get the point. There's some kind of lights off in the distance.
Yeah, very interesting though.
I'll let it run for another minute or two, and then I'll turn it off.
We don't need HD. We still have our 20-year-old closed circuit television camera system.
Yeah.
Hey, it got some crazy stuff on it.
It does. It works.
Yeah, it's a very weird phenomenon. Like you can tell it's not hoax.
Well, they clearly have nothing to hide if they're opening beers while they're playing. They're filming this.
Yeah, they're just sitting back and enjoying the show.
There's even a turnoff on the highway to go watch it, like a viewing point. They see it almost night. What I read.
Yeah, I was reading that as well earlier.
All right, so I'll stop sharing my screen on this one. So what do you guys think of that? So after watching some of those, what do you think?
I mean, it's an obviously a legitimate phenomena.
Yeah.
There's been eyewitness accounts and now video and photo of it occurring. So it blows my mind. It is a real interesting thing to see, regardless
Yeah, it
if
is.
it's supernatural or just swamp gas, like some people say it is.
Yeah, desert gas.
Desert gas.
So, before we get into the nuts and bolts of this, I would be curious to hear what are all of our first impressions. What do you think it is? We'll talk about it, and then we'll see if our opinions changed or not on any of this. You want to go first, Nick? What do you think these things are?
Most likely, I think I'm going to side with the skeptics on this one and say that it's some kind of natural phenomena like temperature fluctuations or gases or something like that. I just read some studies they conducted, and it seems that's the most plausible answer. But really, who knows?
So so you think that it's the natural phenomenon, like the skeptic obvious.
It's an optical illusion, a very good one, but an optical.
Okay,
illusion.
so if it was not the obvious, if it was something paranormal related or something that was supernatural in nature, what would you say you think that is?
Most likely, I think it would be a spiritual energy.
That's what I was going to say. I
some
think
kind
that's
of a
my belief. But
manifestation of a spiritual force if we're going to go paranormal.
What do you think, Tim? You agree with Nick
no,
on
I
that?
agree. Yeah, I think it would be something like spiritual or something ghostly. Because I remember, I remember the first time you and I heard about it was the Unsolved Mysteries back in the late '80s, early '90s.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
Well, I personally think it's probably something. I don't know if I would say it's totally paranormal or totally not paranormal, because the lights, they're not necessarily, and they don't always go in a straight line. They're not always the same amount of them. I think that if it were something paranormal, I don't think it would be totally as active as what people are seeing. Like, I don't think it would be come out every single night,
No.
because
Right.
that would be pretty hardcore if that was a ghost that appeared every single time the
Yeah.
sun went down. But no, I'm open to it being something paranormal. I would almost think that it would be UFO like in nature, but people say that they have been out there and they don't see any campfire remnants, anyone staying out there. I even read a thing. It said that if you try to go towards the lights, like some people have actually tried to go out towards the lights, they said that they disappear or you can't see them when you're up, like going out there to go look for them. I don't know how you would word that. Trying to get a close look. So I don't know if you're familiar with the earthly explanation, but I don't know personally. I'm not like a scientist or anything. But do you think would you not be able to see that if you were up close? Like if it was just the natural phenomenon of static electricity or electricity from the earth?
Well, you're gonna.
You have to know.
In my humble, uneducated opinion, if it was a natural phenomena, if you walk up to it, you might not be able to see it because of the way the light waves reflect and refract through the atmosphere, and possibly it could cause these lights to go away at a closer distance versus a longer distance. That's just my average Joe opinion right there.
The thing that I think is kind of strange about the whole thing, they they
Sound
say
like
that
old man coughing and wheezing.
yeah. They say that the lights split and they merge, almost like what people say UFOs, what happened to UFOs. And they say that they're usually yellow or orange, but they said they've also been seen as green, blue, red are also seen. So my thing is, if this were a UFO or UFO related, I guess, do you think that those would even come out as often as these are cited?
Yeah, I don't think a UFO is making a nightly or
Yeah, not unless it's a known base or something. But yeah, definitely, I don't think
There used to be a base there back in the 40s, as an interesting side note. So.
Yeah, so there was a UFO. There was a base out there. We'll get into that in just a moment. So the first thing I'd like to say, I found a paragraph written about the atmospheric phenomenon, if that's what it is or that's what people think it is. It says there's an individual named Brian Dunning. He says that the designated viewing area for the Marfa lights, it's a roadside park on the south side of U.S. Route 90, about 9 miles east of Marfa. It says it's at the site of Marfa Army Airfield, where tens of thousands of personnel were stationed between 1942 and 1947, training American and Allied pilots. This massive field was then used for years as a regional airport and then daily airline service. Since Marfa Army Airfield and its satellite fields were each constantly patrolled by sentries, they consider it unlikely that any unusual phenomenon would remain unobserved and unmentioned. According to Dunning, the likeliest explanation is that the lights are some sort of mirage, he says, caused by the sharp temperature gradients between the cold and warm layers of air. I guess Marfa is at an elevation of 4,600 feet above sea level, and it says the temperature differentials of 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, I guess. That's quite common. So according to him, Dunning, I guess he's some kind of skeptic scientist type guy, he says that he thinks that it's just literally, like Nick was saying, balls of light or atmospheric conditions. But so this, like Nick was saying before, for those people that think that these are ghost lights, like some people think it's a ghostly phenomenon. Do you know of other ghost lights, Nick? Because I know I have quite a few of them on here. If you don't know of some,
Yeah, ghost lights are a phenomena that spreads throughout the centuries and millennia. One of the popular stories about ghost lights is relating to St. Elmo's fire, which really gained traction in the Western conscious during the colonial era when, all the European powers were sending galleons and fleets across the oceans. Whenever there would be a storm and before a boat would sink, this blue light would appear near the boat, kind of signaling to the crew that they were about to be swallowed up by the ocean. If you don't mind, I do have a video of St. Elmo's fire being captured by a pilot.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
And it's really interesting. And I remember seeing St. Elmo's fire on Unsolved Mysteries as well.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, Nick's screen's on there. Pilot capture St. Elmo's fire in Georgia. Is that what it said?
Hard to believe, but it's something called St. Elmo's fire. And a pilot recently captured it while he was flying over Georgia. It turns out he didn't just film the rare phenomenon, he helped cause it. So the first ingredient in St. Elmo's fire is an electrically charged atmosphere, kind of like during a thunderstorm. Then you add in an object.
It looks a lot like lightning, but it's not.
An airplane or a ship mast, and chaos ensues. Now, for all those excited particles to calm down, they release a little blast of light.
Is this a commercial airliner or is this like a private plane?
I'm not sure.
Looks pretty big.
Fire. It's something that sailors have seen for centuries. And guess what? We've actually seen it too. The same process makes neon signs glow.
So, while we're on the subject of other ghost lights, do you think that could be the Marfa lights, Nick? Or are you saying like that's just another ghost light thing around the world?
Well, if you look at that video, the St. Elmo's fire, at least that's what this thing is purported to be, looks like a lightning bolt. It looks nothing like the Marfa lights. The Marfa light it's a lot more concentrated, and it kind of floats around versus just zigzagging everywhere. So it's a separate and different phenomena than St. Elmo's fire.
Definitely.
So I have a couple videos and I'll just mention a couple of these actually. I'll show my screen and then I'll mention a couple of these other ones that I have on here. Let me share my screen. Share system audio. All right, here we go. All right, so this is one. It's called the Saratoga Ghost Lights. This is from Saratoga, Texas, which, of course, Marfa lights are in Texas. This one's in Texas. The guys that are on the screen, I'll just leave it up to you guys. You'll see what I'm talking about. There's a reason you have to listen to the audio on this.
All right, that's Saratoga Lights. We don't know what the fuck that is in front of us.
And it's behind us, too.
And it's behind us. I can't really see it behind us, but I'm not about to get out the car. But it's just this one light in front of us. It's not going anywhere. It's fucking pitch black. It's starting to move.
You like that way you talk, Nick?
Yeah. I like the music, too.
Me too.
That's a scary fucking light. What is it doing? It's just a white orb. Turn on the headlights, easy. And look, we're on the road. It's just this weird light looking at us.
Sound like some frat boys or something?
There's one behind us too, but you can't see it on camera. But as you can see, we're just on Saratoga Road. This single light, this orb. It's just we're about to get out the car. We are going to get out the fucking car. It's probably the worst mistake that we're going to do with two black dudes and a Mexican. We're going to get out of the fucking car.
I like their commentary.
Me too, actually, a lot.
Would you say the commentary?
Yeah.
It's disappearing.
See, now the lights disappeared.
Just like illuminating the tree.
Like very light in the back.
Yeah, you can see it a little bit, but it's pretty much gone.
Well, fuck! I decided to turn the lights off. That's a fucking car.
It's not a car. It's not going nowhere.
You think that's a car,
It's
Nick?
getting closer.
No, I heavily
No,
doubt it.
you would have two headlights.
It's just weird.
Sorry, I'm letting the whole thing play. I thought this was actually
Oh
pretty
yeah,
cool.
it's very interesting.
Yeah, no, it is an interesting video for
I-
sure.
I can't really vouch for the guys
That look
filming
like
it.
red
But
and
they
white.
seem kind of like
They seem very legitimate.
They seem like legit.
They actually do.
Seem kind of like wackadoodles though.
Kind of like wackadoodles.
It's not moving. That's coming closer.
You know they're really there too when you see like the road.
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, it's definitely a legitimate video. And they're freaking out over
Well, no, they don't know what the freak they're looking at.
Shit, I can't see the one behind us.
It says there's one
That one in
behind
front
us
of
somewhere.
us. Bright as fuck.
Yeah,
That's pretty bright too when you look at it.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
getting brighter and brighter. It's changing color. It looks similar to what we saw out in the cemetery.
Yeah.
It's like changing shapes and shit on us.
I got one more on the Saratoga lights. Then I'm going to share our personal encounter with the ghost light.
It's turning colors.
Is that getting closer to them or far? Are you zooming in? I can't tell.
You can't really tell 100% what's going on.
In front of us? Yeah. Should I turn on my lights? I think you should turn on the car.
Oh, shit, it's getting big. Oh, shit, it is so fucking big.
Like that was pretty crazy.
Drinking
Yeah.
water before.
So then I got another one. This one I can't really make full screen, but this is another one of the Saratoga lights. Similar to the last one.
Huh, I wonder how far Saratoga is from.
Marfa.
That one's intriguing because look at the lightning in the background too.
Yeah,
Looks like the same road those guys were just on in that other video too.
yeah, it looks like the exact same road.
I always thought it'd be interesting to come out and document this stuff.
See, like that
No.
one's because it's clearly on the ground, nothing to do with the atmospheric stuff.
Yeah, it's sitting on the ground. You can see that.
Even though like these lights have been filmed a million times, I would like to see them myself still though.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely is a better experience seeing it in person versus on video.
So we're going a little bit off subject here, but I just wanted to show everyone a couple of these videos of other ghost lights. Let me check one thing though while I'm sharing my screen. We'll do Saratoga, Texas.
I was just looking at that 9 hours away. Saratoga
Oh.
is close to Houston.
Oh, there we
and
go. I
Mar-
got some.
Oh,
Marfa's Marfa's close to the border.
We could probably, with the way our family lives in Texas, we could probably do Saratoga easily, like 2
Oh,
or
yeah.
3 hours.
This next video is something that me, Tim, and Nick actually encountered
A few years back.
a few years back. The video is only 45 seconds. Once the video stops, I'll have Nick explain, I guess, his modern
Oh,
interpretation.
this was another. Okay.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, this was weird.
Hi, I'm Mothman Poirier from Bigfoots Pad Paranormal. We're here in Rachel, Nevada, the closest town to Area 51, on a way to an investigation about an hour away from here. It's for my first time ever being here. It's pretty awesome. And on the way here, coming up the extraterrestrial highway, we were coming up the highway and we saw a mysterious light approaching us. And we went into a dip, and then when we came up out of the dip, the light was gone. It disappeared, and there's no turnoffs in the road, so it's pretty weird. And it also seems like every animal wants to commit suicide tonight, jumping out in front of the car. So
All right, I'll stop sharing my screen. So, Nick, would you like to tell the audience a little bit about what we saw, or what we would consider a ghost light in that? I don't know if you remember that specific incident.
Yeah, no, I remember. Well, that was a completely different,
Yeah.
incident. I was thinking about the one near the res. I forgot about this one until you brought it up. But yeah, we were on our way to a ghost hunt, going through Rachel, Nevada, where we made a slight pit stop, and we were just going straight down the road. and we saw what looked like two really bright headlights coming in our direction. I remember somebody said, "Who's this jerk that's got their high beams on? They ought to turn them off," that kind of thing. And we did go into a dip in the road, and we came up, and the lights just vanished.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was no conceivable way to get off that portion.
Yeah, no car on the other side or anything.
The lights just disappeared. And to this day, it still blows my mind. I don't know what we saw that day.
Me neither.
I wish we had gotten that on camera, but wow.
Would you call that a ghost light? Or I didn't think that was any kind of atmospheric condition. I don't think that was a mirage. It was at nighttime. Like, I don't know. The one that we saw.
No mirage.
Yeah, I don't think we were seeing things. I don't know what you would call it. And we were literally the only car on that road. And it's
we thought it was another car coming towards us from the other direction.
I even turned my high beams off because I thought a car was coming towards us.
Yeah, I mean, we thought it was another car, but the lights vanished.
Well, not to mention, there was lots of cattle in the road that night. So we weren't going the full 65, 70 miles an hour. We were going like 50 because I was afraid of cows coming out in the road because we saw them earlier that day. So I don't know what you would call that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's one of the craziest things we've encountered.
I actually almost forgot about that one too.
We've seen so much crazy things over the years.
Seriously, countless.
So getting
paranormal and not paranormal.
Oh yeah. So I have some more videos I could show later of different things. But I'm gonna get back on topic with the Marfa lights. So some people think that these are car headlights, and one reason I want to mention the car headlights now was because some people thought, like we were just saying, the incident that Nick was just mentioning, people thought that might be car headlights. We of course lived it, and we don't think there was any possibility that it could be car headlights.
Yeah, because if there was, we just thought I'd tell you, like, debunked it was.
Well, not to mention, there's no way a car could turn around on that straightaway without us seeing them either. So this article says, in May 2004, a group from the Society of Physics students at the University of Texas at Dallas spent 4 days investigating the recorded Marfa lights. And they were in the viewing park, I guess. They're using traffic volume monitoring equipment, video cameras, binoculars, and chase cars. Their report made the following conclusions. They said U.S. Highway 67 is visible from the Marfa lights viewing location. The frequency of lights southwest from the viewing park correlates with the frequency of vehicle traffic on U.S. 67. The motion of the observed lights was in a straight line, so they claim. When the group parked their vehicle on U.S. Route 67 and flashed their headlights, it was visible at the view park and appeared to be a Marfa light, they say. A car passing the parked vehicle appeared as one of the Marfa lights, they say. So they're saying that they think that it just happens to be
car headlights,
like some kind of a reflection. Or what do you think, Nick? Do you think that's even a possibility, or do you think that sounds ridiculous?
Maybe for some instances of the lights, they could be reflections of car lights, but I don't think it would be okay. You can't say it's all instances of the lights being car lights.
Well, because what's weird is some people say that these college students say that it's headlights. These college students say that it's electromagnetics from the earth. Could it just be a combination of multiple things all in one spot? Maybe it is electricity combined with a mirage, combined with this or that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that is a possibility, that it's just a phenomena that has a multitude of different causes. You definitely can't discount that either.
So you're saying that it's not headlights, but it's not headlights.
Yeah, headlights could account for some of the Marfa.
Exactly, but not the whole phenomenon.
Yeah.
Especially in the 1800s. How do you kind of explain that one?
Oh, yeah, they've been seen since the 1800s.
Well, if it is seen since the 1800s, that kind of throws out it possibly being a drone was something I wrote down in my notes.
Yeah.
It couldn't be a drone. You figure it wouldn't be headlights, or at least not all headlights. The whole campfire thing, I understand some people think it might be campfires, even in the 1800s, but when you see the videos of the lights that we watch, those clearly are not all on the ground. Some of those look very high in the air up on the side of the mountain. And if they're moving, there's no way that could be a campfire.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a campfire.
Unless someone's lighting like gigantic fireworks and throwing them into the air all the time or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people sometimes have done that at the Indian reservation near here. We see it on the news all the time where they light big bonfires with used up fireworks and like shooting at each other and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
People doing stupid things with fireworks.
Although we do like to go out there and light some off. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, they are fun.
So the next thing I wrote on here, the next subject I would like to get into, because I know Nick has an article on the will of the wisp. We'll get into that in just a moment. Yeah. So could they possibly be ghosts? I know Nick said he doesn't necessarily think that they're ghosts. I don't know what Tim thinks, but if these were ghosts, I know we shared some other ghost lights a minute ago.
I mean, that's what I like to always think growing up, that they were something spectral, but
if these were ghosts, just entertaining the idea, would this possibly be one of the most extravagant ghost sightings ever cited, that this thing appears almost every single night?
Yeah, it seems you would think so.
What would the ghosts be like? Where would they come from is my next question. Just
maybe it's something
just for a conversation.
Yeah, maybe it's something Native American. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That was my first thought.
Yeah,
I would say that maybe it could have been someone died from the World War II training grounds. But if these things have been seen since the 1800s, like shortly after the Civil War, they probably were seen before that. It's just that settlers didn't come out there till the 1800s.
If it's a ghost, it's probably some kind of a Native American spiritual phenomena because of how the land was taken from them back in the day, and maybe it's like some kind of curse that was put on the land by somebody, just like the Mothman curse.
Yeah.
So if it's a spiritual phenomena, I definitely believe it's probably tied to the Native Americans.
What I think is interesting is it sounds like people in the 1800s actually went out there. Well, of course, there was no highway back then, but they actually went looking to see what the hell was going on back then, and they couldn't find anything. So Nick
I think so.
Yeah, I had to plug in my laptop. It was yelling at me saying I had a low battery.
Yeah, Nick, I thought you got scared of the Marfa lights and had to run out of the room.
I did. I'm going to go hide
up. So Nick, there's something called a will of the wisp. I saw you had an article on that. Yeah. I specifically have no idea what that is. Would you like to tell us what it is, Nick, or would you like to share your screen, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll share the screen and give a brief synopsis of the will of the wisp phenomena.
Yep, and then after that, I have like 3 or 4 other ideas of what it might be, and then I have some question and answers between the 3 of us. All right, your screen is on, Nick.
All right, so I'm just going to quickly talk about the willow, the wisp, or the deadly fairy lights. They've been called the bog lights, and they've also been called the jack-o'-lantern lights because urban legend in Scotland that a guy named Jack had sold his soul to the devil, and now he haunts the bogs out there and appears to people in the swamp and tells them that he can give them money and fame, riches, that kind of thing. And they follow the light into the bog, but they don't know that they're being deceived, and they end up drowning in the bog or the lake.
Very sad.
Yeah. So for thousands of years, people all over the world, but particularly in the British Isles, have reported seeing ghostly lights in the night forest and fields. It wasn't just a good British ale. The lights were real soon. They looked like a flame from a lantern, so nighttime travelers were often lured off their path to go see what was going on. And will-o'-the-wisp were deemed deceitful and dangerous. They at times have been called the fool's fire or the foolish fire because the travelers would see the will-o'-the-wisp light out in the distance in the forest, and they would think it's a fire from a torch, but it really wasn't a fire. It was just this orb that appeared out of nowhere. Here's some interesting, renditions of these phantom lights, of these bog lights. Some people, some folklorists over there in the United Kingdom say that these are fairies. They call them the fairy lights, and when they appear, if you follow them, they can take you to a fairy kingdom. So you have a 50-50 shot.
There's another, not that I believe in fairies personally, but that would be another paranormal phenomenon explanation.
Yeah, for the Marfa lights, definitely. And
because people believe in fairies too.
Yeah.
So Will of the Wisps, they're roughly saying that it's some kind of a fairy-related deal.
Oh, here. Now, I found another interesting video that was popular on social media for a while here of a plasma ball crossing across a railroad track. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I thought it'd be pertinent to tonight's show. My screen's still up.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's cool. So that's
purportedly like an electric plasma ball crossing across the railroad tracks, and
so that's along the electromagnetic theory where the
that would definitely
thought it was
back up
something
the
from within the
electromagnetic thing.
Play that again, Nick. That was pretty cool.
Let's see here.
Instead of the Galaxy Tab glitches.
Fighting with YouTube and all of its ads.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, I've
Here,
never
I'm
seen
gonna play that
before.
one more time.
I haven't either.
Sound.
That would scare you if you saw that.
Yeah, what the heck is going on? Now my computer's just tripping out.
That's all right. It's okay. We saw it if it won't play.
Oh, there it is. Here's a real zoomed up view if you have it.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Some people say this is a CGI hoax. Other people, a lot of people believe it's real. But I mean, regardless, it's a pretty cool video, and it would go into that electromagnetic theory.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So while we're on the subject of different things, different reasons, my next thing, Nick, I have UFOs. Do you think that there's a possibility that these could be UFOs?
I mean, there's a possibility for anything. It could be an alien or a trans-dimensional entity manifesting itself. That's, a possibility.
Yeah.
So I have, let's see. As soon as my thing lets me do it. So I have a couple of UFO related videos that I'd like to play. So people are saying that these might be UFOs because they're saying that they see the lights merge with each other, come apart. They kind of dive. They kind of go up in the sky. They kind of go all over the place. So while we're on that subject, I would like to play a UFO video. So this first one, it is from Houston. These are
a lot of Texas stuff.
Yeah, I put it on mute real quick. So this is over the Houston sky. You can see that this is some kind of I guess you'd call it a triangular UFO.
Well, Tim, that looks very similar to the lights that you caught caught over
Las
Summerlin
Vegas.
a while back. Yeah, in Vegas.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
kind of.
We're getting there. That'll be next.
Oh,
So these lights, I'd like to just show. Those are kind of comparable to the Marfa light footage that I showed earlier.
Yeah, very, very similar.
yeah, they do look similar. However, they're much higher in the air than the Marfa lights.
And then here's another Marfa lights video real quick. This is from about 15, 16. So these are the Marfa lights. The footage is kind of old, so you can't really see how high or how low to the ground they are. But I thought that was kind of cool. Looks like a similar formation.
Kind of, yeah. Multiple.
Yeah, so if I go
It's so
ahead,
weird.
now you can see they're kind of low to the ground.
Yeah, those ones are definitely low.
So I got one more video I'd like to share while my screen's up. These lights were ones that were actually recorded by Tim. I'll skip ahead a little. You could kind of see up in this area.
This is hands down one of the best pieces of UFO footage I've ever seen.
Let me skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah, I still don't know what it is to this date.
There's this one. There's another one that we have. I might have to play the other one, I think, is the one we're thinking of.
Well, but they're still extremely strange.
Yeah, well, I mean, you filmed both of them, but we'll get
I went hunting in the 30-degree, 28-degree weather in my old car, just hunting them down.
Weren't you with our friend Robert at the time?
No, I was by myself.
Here, let me play the other one that I have marked.
And then one of them I was with our mother, but
Yeah,
yeah, this is the one. There's all these weird cars on the side of the road too.
Here we go. I skipped ahead. Now you can see the lights a little bit better in this one. I have the audio on mute so we could talk about it.
Still some strange stuff.
So as far as the Marfa lights go, you think that the Marfa lights kind of dip and move a little bit faster than these, or are they kind of about the same, right?
Yeah,
these are definitely UFOs here.
Yeah.
Is that one right under the S on UFOs in the corner? Is that part of
Yeah,
UFOs?
that's the one that's going to meet up with the other ones.
Yeah, we'll let this play for just a moment. One reason I wanted to play the UFOs is because that's kind of...
Yeah, another theory.
Yeah, and they say that they merge with each other and come apart, and UFOs have been reported to do that.
Well, look what these do all of a sudden. This is still to date one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I truly have no idea what my eyes witnessed that night.
Yeah, no, I've always been blown away by this footage.
I guess I can make it full screen. They're going pretty quick, too.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, the one just stays stationary while the other one comes to meet up with it.
This is the part of the video I was actually looking for.
Look at they're in sync with each other now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a moment. So as far as the Marfa lights go, any of you change your opinion on that at all? Or are you still sticking with it's probably...
My guess is Native American spirituality thing. That's my opinion, but...
I mean, yeah. If I'm going paranormal, I'm going with a Native American spiritual phenomena. And if I have to go with a natural phenomena, it's probably something electromagnetic or dealing with plasma.
Oh, yeah. We have an individual named Through the Veil. He says hello.
Hello.
So while we're on the subject of UFOs, we're talking about different reasons things with these lights could be. You mentioned the fairy, the will of the wisp thing. They said that lots of people talk about that, Nick. We've kind of didn't really get into it. Have you seen any videos of the bog lights, or have you seen any pictures of it? Or you don't have to share them if you don't have them.
Yeah,
but did you see any?
I've never seen a video of the bog light. I just knew of this story of them. And I do remember though when I was a kid, and we've got video of this phenomena before near Blue Diamond one night.
Mm-hmm.
Weird lights going up and down the mountains.
Oh yeah, another weird night.
I used to see those lights when I was a kid when I first moved to Las Vegas in the early 2000s. Back when the west side of Las Vegas was nothing but desert, you would see these lights moving through the mountains. And this was about like 2003, 2004 when you would see this. And we caught video of a similar phenomena. What was that, about maybe 3-4 years ago?
Yeah.
Roughly, yeah, probably closer to 4.
But so we've seen the ghost lights here in Las Vegas on the far western edge of the valley.
Yeah. And
So-
it's very weird too. Like no explanation as to what those even were. In the freezing cold.
Yeah.
One of the last theories I have, which is kind of one of the most ridiculous. Could it be swamp gas? That's what some websites say. Could it be swamp gas? So, people always talk about UFOs being swamp gas or not being swamp gas. So I actually took it upon myself I found 2 pictures of people saying that, like pictures of actual swamp gas. So this is swamp gas above Lake Elsinore from
California.
2020. Yep.
Oh,
So
Wow.
this up here, like, I'm guessing somehow the weather service says this is swamp gas. And then the other one is from Facebook. They're saying this is swamp gas. This right here, I guess.
Mm.
So could it be swamp gas? I don't think personally, but what do you guys think?
Not in Marfa. I don't think there's any swamps near Marfa.
yeah, there's no swamps near Marfa. And then when you see those pictures, you see kind of a phenomena where the movement of the light's very unpredictable, and it just kind of moves around, while the Marfa lights and other ghost lights, again, are much more concentrated. And that one video you showed, Jeremy, they kind of like were moving in sync a little bit on the ground.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's characteristic of swamp gas phenomena.
No.
Oh, yeah. So really quick, something I'd like to mention. So one of the theories that people say that the Marfa lights, like part of, I guess, the lore of the Marfa lights, it says that, I guess, at one point the town of Marfa was dying, and they said eventually the local town embraced the mystery. Now they have something called the Marfa Lights Festival. This was started in 1986, and I guess in 2003 the famous Marfa Lights viewing platform was installed. And it says now thousands of people go to the spot to catch a glimpse of the phenomenon. I looked up a flyer for the Marfa Lights. I was just kind of curious what exactly this was. Last year's festival, it says it's held at the Presidio County Courthouse. So they had retail, information, food vendors. They had concerts. They had an art festival. I'm guessing from the looks of it, they had a bunch of, it looks like some Hispanic bands. They had a parade.
So it seems pretty popular.
It'd be kind
Well,
of
it
cool.
seems like that's gonna, one year we should do a paranormal festival tour. We should just go to like the
That'd be
Mothman
cool.
Festival,
Yeah.
the Marfa Festival, the Roswell
Yeah,
Festival.
I'd be cool with that.
Roswell.
I always thought the Roswell Festival would be cool to check out.
Yeah.
Even though it's overrated, we'd go.
Yeah. So, really quick. Yeah, so here's some other quick. I'll say a couple of really quick snippets I have in my notes of some other ghost sites in case people are wondering. It says in Arkansas, The near Crosset, Arkansas. It says people have seen a light since the early 1900s. It appears as an eerie red, white, amber, or blue light high above the heads, like your head. This place called Gurdon in Arkansas, the Gurdon lights. It says they occur near a small town called Gurdon, which is about 75 miles from Little Rock. It says those lights they think are from a railroad decapitation legend. I guess
That's
the guy is
gruesome.
walking the tracks looking for his head, I guess. It says
Very
in Silver
interesting.
Cliff, Colorado, there's a variation. Mystery lights here are seen in the old Silver Cliff Cemetery. They're often blue and white and about the size of a silver dollar, it says. They appear in groups of 2 or 3.
That one's pretty doable.
Yeah. North Carolina, it says there's the famous Brown Mountain lights. And it says they occur in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. They appear to be numerous lights, at least twice the size of stars. And it says they often appear as red or blue or amber in color. And it says those lights were reported before white men settled in the area. The Cherokee and Catawba Indian tribes reported them as far back as year 1200, it says.
Wow.
And it says...
Yeah, that's not swamp gas.
Yeah, and they think that it had something to do with warriors of theirs that were killed in the battle. And Civil War soldiers even wrote about these lights.
Oh, wow.
So we could go on and on about different lights.
Yeah.
This one, I'll get a little bit more into this, the last one, and then we'll get back on topic. This is from Bragg, Texas. It says there's another occurrence of mysterious lights from a decapitated brakeman of a train. The lights start small, grow into the size of a flashlight beam, and it's orange. Paulding, Texas has the very well-known Marfa lights. So anyways, I guess this didn't get into as much information as I thought it would, but you guys get the picture. So these lights are seen all over the place.
Yeah.
So now we're going to get into some of the questions that I wrote down here. So why are the Marfa lights not fire or fire related? We'll get into that.
They're not fire. I mean, you see on the video
that it cuts out at one point. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see the you see in the video the lights. There's no fire. There's no smoke. It's clearly not
smoke.
fire.
Yeah.
And that would mean there's fire. There's no smoke. There's no fire.
You heard those two guys in the car. They said they didn't see no smoke.
So these are some of the common questions I wrote down off different websites I was on. Are people making the lights? Can you assume that people are or are not making these lights?
Chances are probably not.
Like man-made, I guess.
There probably are copycats that like troll or people, but I don't think it's a mass coordinated effort to hoax lights to fool people.
Would it be like it would have to be generations of hoaxers coming out there every night?
Yeah, yeah. It's probably
since 1880s.
Yeah.
My 7th great grandpappy was out there faking them lights.
I'm writing you and Tim something in the private chat real quick, Nick.
Okay.
You and Tim write me back in there.
Yeah, I see.
So, next thing I'd like to mention. Some skeptics say people are just plain making it up or that it's some kind of a mirage. Could that be the case?
I don't know about a night mirage, but I'm sure there's stories of people that are faked, of course, but
yeah, I don't think it could be, like I said, some kind of mirage with the electromagnetic properties of the area. I don't know enough about electronics or physics to really get into that topic into a lot of detail.
Yeah.
But I do think it could be a natural phenomena that we're witnessing. And I think one thing that really inclines me to think it's a natural phenomena is the cyclical nature of the appearances of these lights. Like you said, they happen every night, every other night. about the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think that's something that would give credence to the fact that the Marfa lights are likely a natural phenomena. You know, like the sun rising and the tides coming and going. The lights sort of follow a schedule.
Would you say that these lights are dangerous?
No, I don't think they're dangerous at all.
So people
I
are
think-
saying that when you go out to go find them or seek looking for them, that you can't see the lights when you're up close. Why would that be, do you think? Like why can't you see these lights if you were to go out there? If the lights are in the distance and you go out there where the lights are at, why can't you see them up close but you can see them from far away? Do they like I don't think the lights are intelligent in a sense unless they're UFO related. Like you know what I mean? Like how come you can't see
Yeah.
them up close?
It just probably has to do with how your perspective shifts. You know, when you're far out, you get the entire panorama of the area that you're looking at, and you see the lights. But when you get up close, your eye adjusts some way, and the lights then just go away for whatever reason. That I'm not again. I'm just an average Joe. I'm not an optometrist, so I wouldn't really be able to get into a long and lengthy scientific explanation.
Sure
I know
you
we started talking a little bit about when Nick and us were doing a ghost hunt and we saw what we would consider a ghost light, literally a ghost light in the Silver Reef, Utah cemetery. I don't know. Did I give you a chance to get into details on the Nick? I don't think I did.
Yeah, we were about to start a ghost hunt at this cemetery in the middle of nowhere, like we apt to do. And before the ghost hunt started, we saw what we thought was a campfire on top of a ridge, way over on the horizon. But it wasn't a campfire because the light started to move on the horizon, going like left and right, and then it would like levitate up and down, and it changed colors just like that other ghost light we watched earlier.
Yeah.
Do you remember it? Changed colors.
Oh, yeah,
It looked like red to green, yellow, orange. It was a wild sighting that actually I think was probably better than the ghost hunt we did that night.
Well, part of the reason why I wanted to do this show was I clearly remember, Nick, your grandfather, Roger, he at one point actually parked his RV near that viewing area near Marfa, and he actually watched the lights for several nights, or about 3 or 5 nights or something like that, right, Nick?
Yeah, no,
So, like, what did he see, or like how did he explain it to you? Because I remember when we were kids, I remember him telling us around the dinner table conversation, telling us that him and your grandma Claudette, that they happened to park his RV out there and they made like a whole like week like vacation out of this thing. I don't know if they said they went to Marfa. I don't know where else they went, but I remember that Roger really liked those lights. So what did he see? Can you describe his vacation for us and kind of like what he saw real quick?
Well, yeah, they were retired and did a lot of traveling in their RV, and they would go on road trips frequently, because they were retired, just enjoying their golden years. And they did stop in Texas, and they did see the lights in Marfa. I think Roger, when he told us he saw the lights, he was enjoying
kind of a skeptic.
Yeah, he wasn't really a big believer in the paranormal.
Well, because I remember your grandma really believed, she thought that it might be ghosts or UFOs, and Roger was saying he thought it might just be like atmospheric conditions. I know we're going. So, Nick, can you talk a little bit about like some of the differences they talked about? Or I remember them kind of arguing about it when we were eating before, like over dinner time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh at this, but it was kind of ridiculous. Your grandparents arguing about some Marfa lights over in Texas.
No, I think
at
one
the
time
we were like 15 years old. Listening to your grandparents arguing about living in an RV watching ghost lights in Texas.
Yeah, I do recall one time they did have a debate about the subject, and
yeah,
my grandmother was a God-fearing woman. She went to church, and she would be like, Roger, those lights we saw down there in Texas, those are got to be like angels or something. They just appear to show the light of God to people, and then he would just sit there with his beer in his hand, take a sip, and go, that's a bunch of BS. It's just probably a campfire or the lights of a car that we saw out there.
I can't believe like Roger and your grandma must have really believed, or at least your grandma must have really believed in that. If they're willing to take like almost a week to drive out from Las Vegas to Marfa, basically the middle of nowhere, to sit on the side of the road in an RV and watch the lights. That's insane when you think about it. I mean, it's not insane. I mean, that they must have really wanting to see that.
Yeah, I wish we could ask them more.
Yeah. So really quick. So it's about 8:00. I know we'll do a quick recap real quick about tonight's show, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's going to happen next week or the week after. So tonight, guys, for those of you who are kind of tuning in right now, or people that have tuned in recently and missed the first half of the show, we talked about the Marfa lights of Marfa, Texas. People say that these lights are related to ghosts, natural phenomenon, UFOs, fairies, or spirit related. And we talked a little bit about what the different theories are. We showed various videos of similar phenomenon. Now that we got all that done tonight, so I'd like to get all of our final opinions on this based off what we started talking about this tonight before we got into all this evidence. Does your theory or your opinions change at all, Nick, on what you think this is?
I mean, a little bit. I'm definitely thinking it could be something Native American related.
Mm-hmm.
The history of that area with all the war and the bloodshed. It could be some kind of a Native American spiritual manifestation.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Well, I think that it could be multiple phenomena going on at once. I do definitely think it could be Native American related, because we're talking about the 1880s when these things were first sighted. I know we saw similar things. We didn't go to Marfa, but we saw similar things. And if Nick's grandparents, they wouldn't lie about this kind of thing. So I know they really did happen to see it. So it's interesting, to say the least. So really quick, I want to talk a little bit about what the future shows are going to be over the next couple of weeks. So we're kind of switching things up a bit. We're going to do another week or two of just the three of us doing a panel about various subjects. And then after that, we're going to start doing some interviews. We're going to do a kind of combination of interviews and just the three of us. So we got several filmmakers, not just any filmmakers, but I don't want to give too much away, but filmmakers that are very, I wouldn't say very popular, but they're filmmakers that are interesting material put out that most people don't know about. We have a couple authors coming on. We even have some individuals. That happen to investigate UFO crashes over in Canada. So again, guys, next week's show, we are going to announce probably on Monday or Tuesday coming up. We're going to announce the show. It'll just be me and Nick coming up on this one. Actually, Nick, why don't you tell the audience what our subject's going to be for next week? We'll just announce it now.
Next week we're maybe looking at doing a Spring Heel Jack episode. We were talking about that on the phone.
We could do Spring Heel Jack. I know you said you wanted to possibly talk about the Hotel Cecil over in California.
Oh yeah, that was another. Yeah,
we could do that one. I'd like to be part of the Spring Heel one.
So
maybe we'll save that one for when Tim gets back.
Yeah, we could talk about the Hotel Cecil and
I'll try to get Becky to join too.
Try to get who?
Oh, Becky.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
All right, guys. Well, I happen to kind of run out of time here because, yeah, I gotta go do something. So anyways, guys, I'd like to thank everyone that's happened to watch the show tonight, everyone that's going to watch the show after its live broadcast. Again, I'd like everyone that's watched the show, click like on our video, click that subscribe button. We are going to do shows every Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Unless something happens to come up, then we'll do it on a Friday or a Sunday. But we're going to try to start doing them on Saturdays. Click that subscribe button. Click that like button. You want to have anything else you guys want to say before we get going for tonight?
Does everybody have a good night and a fun rest of the weekend?
Yep. Thank you for joining us.
And thanks for joining us.